Hey guys, welcome to today's video where I'm going to take you through what we eat in a day as a family of 7. I'll start with breakfast, and for breakfast I'm making some half cakes. So in goes my 2 eggs, and then this is 2 spoonful of oil, and then I'm going to add in half cup of sugar. Give it a good mix until the crystals of the sugar disappear completely, and then after that I'll be adding 2 tablespoons of melted butter. You can substitute that with prestige margarine, it also works better. Then give it a good mix. I will be adding in some milk. These are 2 teaspoonful of milk. Give it also a good mix. The flour that I'm going to use in making the half cakes is self-raising flour. If you can use all-purpose flour, but you'll have to add some baking soda and also some baking powder. But with me, I just wanted the easy way and I decided to go with the self-raising flour. So I'll mix this with a spatula without using my hands. We are not kneading this dough like we would knead other dough. I'll just mix it until the dough comes together nicely. After that, I'll cover it and let it rest for 10 minutes. This one works. Don't doubt this. Given the measurements that I've given you, this works. You don't need to add anything. But if you feel like the dough is a little bit hard and you want to like you still have a lot of flour on your bowl, you can add a dash of milk or just sprinkle a little bit of milk, and you will continue mixing it until it comes together. So at this point the dough is nicely combined. It took me like 3 minutes to just do that, and then I'm going to cover it, let it rest a little bit, and then I'm going to add oil into my pan. The kind of temperature that you want to deal with while adding your half cakes, you want to cook your half cakes with, is the temperature that if you dip your hand inside that oil, the hand is able to tolerate the heat that is in that oil. So it's just it's not hot, it's not too warm, because if it's a little bit warm, it won't function. So it has to surpass a certain temperature. Like, just dip your finger and the heat, you'll be able to tolerate the heat. This was the turnout of the half cakes. They are very crunchy on the outside and soft in the inside. I also made some sausages, fried potatoes. I warmed the plantains, and also we had some peanuts, and some chocolate tea. My kids really love it when we bond over a good breakfast during the weekends, and I really enjoyed making this breakfast for them. One thing about me, I love clearing the sink after every meal. So I'll do these dishes as I put that chicken away because it's meant for lunchtime. And then we'll be having a very clean sink to operate on whenever we want to do the next meal. This is kienyeji chicken, so I want to start cooking it early, though it only took 1 hour to actually cook and soften up because I did use an earthen pot. I love earthen pot. It softens the chicken very fast. And before that, I had put some water in the pot and I left it boiling outside. I'll add salt into it and then I'll now put the chicken inside, cover it, let it cook, and it did just take 1 hour. The meat wasn't that tough, so it only took 1 hour. By the time lunch was approaching, the chicken was just ready to be cooked. So we will be having this for lunch and some fried rice and cabbages. So in my pot, I'm going to add oil, onions, and I'll be using tomatoes. I'm not using any spices on this chicken. Reason why, it's a free range chicken and I just want it to be as natural as it is. Not every meal calls for spices. There are meals you can make and they'll still taste so good minus the spices. So I'll just go in with onions, garlic, and tomatoes. I'm using whole garlic so that because we are going to cook the broth a little bit longer, I want the garlic to be absorbed inside the broth. That is why I'm using them whole. So I'm also using some spring onions and some chopped tomatoes. I peeled these tomatoes just to avoid that tough skin because it was a type of tomato that really had a very tough skin. That is why I peeled it. On the other side, I am going to make fried rice. I'm using onions, both the red and the spring onions, to make my rice, and only turmeric. So it's a turmeric rice but also a version of a fried rice. I'm also using some fenugreek powder because fenugreek powder has amazing aromas, so why not use it? So, and some turmeric, and also fry the rice. With the fried rice, instead of adding water, I'll be using the chicken broth to cook that rice, and it really came out nice with the flavors of the chicken in it. I did not have to use the water. So here the onions are I've browned a little bit, just a little bit translucent. I've added the tomatoes, just my normal way of softening the tomatoes. I'll sprinkle the salt on top of the tomatoes, cover it. Then this over here, the hole over there, I'm going to cover it with a parchment paper so that the steam doesn't get to escape, because this is the steam that makes the lid sweat, and the lid gets to soften the sweat from the lid gets to soften the tomatoes. So I lowered the heat. Then here the onions are done, so I've added in the rice. Remember, I infused my oil with some turmeric and also some fenugreek powder. So I'm using the broth from the chicken to cook this rice instead of water. I'll garnish my chicken with only green pepper and also a little bit of the spring onion leaves.
She's putting all of her cards down on the table, knowing there's no way that you'll be able to win this one. But she's somebody else in the making. First, she just gotta stop all the faking, and she'll be there. But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like this forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. Somebody said, don't be afraid of loving yourself, 'cause that is all you got in the end. You got in the end. But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like this forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go.
So last night I did start making the yogurt. I wanted this yogurt to be as a snack for the kids, and also they get to carry it to school. So I boiled my milk. This milk, I got it from the ATM. So I've boiled it. I'm going to skim the cream out that always lies on top of the milk. The milk actually is warm at the moment when I'm making that yogurt. So I'm going to add in some Delamere yogurt, because I love that Delamere yogurt. It has some strawberry chunks in it. So I'll be adding a half cup of sugar and also be adding the Delamere yogurt, half of it. I ended up using half of it. So I'm mixing the sugar nicely until the crystals break down. That is when I'll be adding in the yogurt. I had to actually shake it so that it can break down, and then I'll just add in the yogurt into the milk. I wanted to use the essence at the moment, but I remembered, no, let me just put the essence tomorrow after the yogurt is done. So after that, I'll mix this well, cover it and put it in the microwave. I'll just have to heat the microwave until it gets some heat, then put the yogurt inside until tomorrow. That is when I'll be able to check the yogurt. Making yogurt at home is something that is actually easy, and it really saves you a lot to go to the supermarket to get the yogurt. You can have the quantity of yogurt that you actually want when you make this yogurt at home. So that I did put it in the microwave the next day, and these are the results of the yogurt that I actually did make. It's very, very thick.
cards down on the table, knowing there's no way that you'll be able to win this one. But she's somebody else in the making. First, she just gotta stop all the faking, and she'll be there. But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like she's forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. Somebody said, don't be afraid of loving yourself, 'cause that is all you got in the end. You got in the end. But she's wondering if it's gonna.
I want to make pizza, so I got feta cheese because I want to mix with other cheeses. Also got some mushrooms. I got some basil. These are just milk powders. I want to also be using them for cakes. I also got some shredded cheddar cheese, tomato paste. I just want a shortcut today. I don't have the time to make the paste. I also got shredded mozzarella cheese, some chicken breasts. I also got some fruits, and I got these are just for the kids. These two, they love this milk. Then I got this. I want to use it to make the breast, so I'll start now. Today I'm making dough that doesn't include yeast, so I'm using all-purpose flour, and I'll just need, like I would need chapatis, just salt and water, nothing much, and some oil. Also knead it until it is smooth. Let it rest as I prepare the rest of the ingredients. The toppings, I'll be using mushrooms, chicken breast. The breast, I'll slice them into smaller pieces, fry them in the oil. This oil I'll just infuse with some salt and also some garam masala, and also some curry powder. Yeah, I'll be using curry powder. And then I'll fry my mushrooms in the same oil, as well as the tomato paste. I'll use the same pan, but not frying the tomato paste. I'll just use the same pan to make the tomato paste, which I'll add a little bit of the garam masala just to flavor it, and also not to have too much of the acidity in it. And also for my cheeses, I'll be using cheddar cheese, the mozzarella cheese, and also the feta cheese. I love feta cheese because it also has some tanginess in it. That is why I want to include it in my pizza.
She's putting all of her cards down on the table, knowing there's no way that she'll be able to win this one. But she's somebody else in the making. First, she just gotta stop all the faking, and she'll be there. But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like she's forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. Somebody said, don't be.
As I was preheating the oven, I forgot and closed the tray inside. So it's hot, that is why I decided to put it on top of this the gas. So I'll poke this dough to create holes so that it can get the sauce. So I'll just poke holes, and I think these holes just help the pizza to cook nicely and faster.
Forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. Talking to myself 'cause I don't know what I want. Yeah, I'm here talking to myself like someone's gonna respond. I'm getting tired of myself 'cause I don't know what I want. But I'm not out here on my own. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that'll make her feel better? Make her feel better. And that's where she'll go.
Since we had heavy breakfast, heavy lunch, and also snacks in between, I've decided to make actually something that is a bit lighter. I'm going to make some pasta from scratch, and I'm using eggs flour. I'm making a hole in between the flour, and then I'll crack in 3 eggs, put in some oil, sprinkle some salt, knead that dough until it is super soft and very light. Then I'll just let it rest for 10 minutes, spread it out into a very thin sheet, then fold the sheets by sprinkling the flour on the dough and then cutting it into smaller stripes as I desire. Then I'll cook like we'll cook normal pasta, but I'll cook this one for 5 minutes. I'll make the sauce on the side. The sauce that I use to make the pizza is the one that I'm going to use to make this pasta. I'm not going to discard that, so I'll be using the same sauce. Add in some water from the pasta, and also I'll be adding some butter, some onions, and also some paste that I initially made, the smoked paste that I actually did make. It's a little bit spicy, so I'll be using those to make my sauce. I'll be adding in a little bit of the brown mushrooms as well, and also garnish with some basil.
But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like this forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. Talking to myself 'cause I don't know what I want. Yeah, I'm here talking to myself like someone's gonna respond. I'm getting tired of myself 'cause I don't know what I want. But I'm not out here on my own. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that'll make her feel better? Make her feel better. And that's where she'll go. 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 Talking to myself 'cause I don't know what I want. Yeah, I'm here talking to myself like someone's gonna respond. I'm getting tired of myself 'cause I don't know what I want.